Empower People works for disadvantaged women who are victims or potential victims of violence, including domestic violence, honor crimes, killing and trafficking or other type of slavery, and provides them shelter, proper counseling, legal support and other help required. The community work involves creating awareness and conducting livelihood programs.
Good evening, everyone. I, Devanshi Goswami, welcome you all to the Empower People webinar. Today, we'll be discussing about entrepreneurship and leadership in youth. We know that leadership is a capacity to turn the vision into reality. And today, we have two entrepreneurs who have proven the very meaning of it. We have Nilfa Shah Karmakar. Hi, Nilfa. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. And we have Shan Ahuja. Hi, Shan. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, Nilfa. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm great.
All
Thank
right.
you for joining us today. So, we'll be discussing about the leadership and the entrepreneurship and its role in the youth and how you guys have struggled and what your journeys have been till now. So, I would like by asking you guys this question, like, can you guys introduce yourself so the audience that is seeing us today can know better about you? Nilfa, we'll start with you.
So, hi everyone. I am Nilfa. I am the founder of Niyat Studios, which is a dance, fitness, and production studio that has been set up here in South Delhi. We started this back in 2019, and I think I don't know if I should say that was a lucky start or an unlucky one because we started it right 2 or 3 months before the whole pandemic hit the nation. So yeah, but I'm still doing it. We are still there. It's been about 1.5 years, and it's going good.
That's amazing, Nilfa. Shan, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
So, guys, I run a company by the name of Blue Lemon Entertainment based out of Delhi NCR, and we have been into the event business for over a decade now. And I've been in the event business for over a decade. The company is going to complete a decade very soon, about it's another year and a half. And we have diverged from event management to marketing solutions and talent management. Now we have been managing some great talents in this country in the past, and since lockdown kicked in, we diverged into content production as well, and now we are producing a lot of music for some talent that we manage.
That's amazing. I congratulate both of you for starting something like that. So I would like to ask you that you guys in the millennial language that we talk in today. So you guys are entrepreneurs. So I would like to know what your definition of entrepreneurs is. We'll start with you, Shan.
Yeah, so for me, being an entrepreneur has been something very basic because I have worked for people, but I've like basically just interned in life in my early years. And in fact, when I got into my internships, also I was already doing my own business, and running my own company. It wasn't a business at that point of time, but yes, we were growing. And it was just that I don't have to report to anybody. And later on and gradually is when I realized that why should I give a chunk of my money to others when I am working towards earning it. And plus you have the freedom to do what you want, what your passion is, what you enjoy doing. That's what is entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's amazing, Shan. I completely agree. Nilfa, what is your definition of entrepreneurship?
I think for me, entrepreneurship is when one person decides to do something on their own, what they like or what they want to do, and they just decide the fact that I'm capable of doing something without having someone backing me up. and I'm capable of starting something on my own, that is entrepreneurship. Whether it is a full on business with 50 employees, or whether it is like creating earrings from clay at your home and selling it in an on your Instagram page. I think both of these are equally good businesses and have equal importance in the society. So I think when someone just decides that they can do something on their own.
I absolutely agree. Personally, I feel entrepreneurship is some youth leaders finding a solution to something that they find is needed for the society. So I am sure that most of the people, the first question that they will ask you is, what was the story behind the startup? What was the one story or one incident in your life that kicked you to start something of your own? So I would also like to know about the same. So Shan, would you like to start?
Sure. So, back when I was doing my engineering is when right before that, actually, I used to go to this bar in Delhi where I was really fascinated by the entire concept of karaoke coming into India. So I just started replicating that in Gurgaon, where I stay, at one of my friends' bars. And gradually, I started learning more about business, about entertainment. And within a few months, it was my college fest. And, my friends who owned the bar, they, pushed me that, oh, if it's happening, we have a full resource, we can get this done, because they were also, young and starting up in life. And I actually got that fest to them, where they involved their friends further in the industry. And when I saw the entire gimmick of how a show is being run, how artists are being managed and everything, it really fascinated me that because till now you people had just seen it behind the camera on a screen, that this is how it happens and all of it. And that was the first time when I was on ground, and I felt that power, that I'm in charge of everything, because I had that power with me. And I really thought that I could do this, because it was super interesting for me at that point of time.
Yes,
And that's how it
that's
began.
yes, that's amazing, Shan. Nilfa, would you like to share your inspiration story?
So my inspiration story, I don't know if you should call it inspiring. It's very weird. When I think I was around 10, 12 years old. So the thing is, my parents have their own business. Both of them have their own separate businesses, and they are both civil engineers. So from a very young age, I was destined to go into a construction industry. So I knew I'll be a civil engineer or an architect, something like that. And my friends, when we were like 12, 13-ish, everyone used to say, oh, you don't have anything to worry about future. You have your parents' business, and you have everything set up. What do you have to worry about? You're so lucky. And this word really irritated me. You're so lucky. Because I felt no matter what I do, people will always say, you're just lucky. You had your parents' business. So I think that's the point I decided, no, I am not gonna have this tag on my head forever that this girl just got lucky. So that's when I went to college. I slowly decided that this is something that I will definitely not do in the first go. Like, I will not jump into my parents' business in the first time. Maybe I will take over it in the future when they are about to retire. But I knew I had to do something on my own so that when my name is out in the market, people say, oh, this is Nilfa, and they have no backstory to attach it to. They can't say, oh, this is Nilfa, the daughter of this person, or this is Nilfa, whose company is her mother's company, or something like that. So I think that was my the comments that I hated were my motivation to start my own business.
That's amazing. It's really amazing to know that you two were so mature back then, and you have started the journey in what you thought was right at that point of time, and you're doing great in your jobs. So I would like to know that, do you feel that entrepreneurship as a leadership role in the society is important, and why do you think that? So Nilfa, we'll start with you.
So I think there are two ways to look at it. One is the very Pinteresty way of looking at it, you should be your own leader and you should have your own goals and all of that. But whether it is being an entrepreneur or working for someone else, as long as you're working to your fullest capability and you're happy doing it, I think it's okay to even work for someone. Leadership doesn't always mean that you're running a company or you're running something. Leadership means when you are good enough at what you do, provide value to what you do, that you're able to inspire your any junior, whether it is at your job level, someone who's your junior, or whether you're the CEO or owner of a company and your employees. When you're able to inspire even one single junior of yours to do what they want to do, I think you have achieved the leadership goal in the society, and that is what the society needs.
Yes, that's amazing, Nilfa. Shan, would you like to add something to that?
You know, what Nilfa said is absolutely bang on. But for me, I have been doing this since a very young age. I was 18 or 19, I guess, when I started out doing being a freelancer or an entrepreneur, however you want to put it as. But for me, one most important thing that comes with leadership is a sense of responsibility, which essentially was not there when I was 18, 19, 20, 21. And gradually I realized that I am the chotu of my business, I am the boss of my business, I am the manager of the business, I am the one who needs to get all the scolding from everybody, I am the one who needs to tell people what to do. So with that, and when you put all of that together is exactly why like when I see a lot of people who have come to me, and it comes as a shock to me that, and they say that we really like the work that you've been doing and so on and so forth. Not a lot of people, but yes, a few people do have come up to me, and it's a shock. And for me, that's exactly where I see that okay, if I haven't achieved 100, I'm at least getting there. And motivating them to if they really want to do something in the sphere of business that I am in is what matters. It's nothing more than a feel good factor.
Yes, I completely agree with both of your point of view. So any time that anyone wants to come into the entrepreneurial maybe field that is there in the society right now, so they always have this view in the mind that what are the challenges that one faces when they come into this field, because as many people like to put it that it's very risky. Also, I've heard this quote which says that leadership is the quality of saying no, because saying yes is very easy and that doesn't make you a leader. So I would like to know many challenges that you guys face in your day-to-day life when you're handling what you love. So Nilfa, we'll start with you.
That's a very good question,
Okay,
Devanshi.
so I started just like Shan said, even I started out, I would say pretty young. I started freelancing when I was 19 and I decided to do this business when I was 21. So I was fairly young. I had no idea how you're supposed to give a proposal. I had no idea you're supposed to give a proposal to a client, because when someone says, "Oh, I want to get this made, I want to get," because I started out as a videographer. So there are so many projects I did for free. So first tip, do not do that. But there were so many projects I did for free. And once you start doing it, I always thought I'm doing it because I love making videos. I love doing this thing and I'm doing it for me and not for them. So I used to make videos for free for so many people that at one point people were just like, this girl does videos for free, so we're gonna just ask her to do it for us. And that, when once I realized that now is the point people have started to take me for granted, I think my mother was the one who made me realize that you have to say no to go ahead. Once you start saying no, I cannot do this thing for free,
I guess Nilfa is having some connectivity issues. We cannot see or hear her. So Shan, we'll continue with you for time being. So what do you think are the challenges that are faced?
uh you know what you absolutely said is never easy to say no is the biggest challenge. And like exactly what Nilfa was saying, for the longest time, I was doing projects at a bare minimum margin and, saying yes to everything that was coming my way because the idea was, to keep on doing something or the other. But gradually what happened was that my father had been seeing me ki Shan, you keep on hustling yaar tu, and he kept told me one thing, tu ghoda hai, you were just shown your finish mark and you will just go do whatever and achieve it. This is something that he saw in me, and he started telling me, stop undervaluing yourself, stop undervaluing yourself, stop underselling yourself. And that's exactly when I started realizing that okay, but I'm doing a project but I'm really not making enough money, or I'm actually doing it at loss because I am essentially spending more money than I'm making over there. There are other expenses that I'm not foreseeing. And exactly when I started realizing that oh, this is what my power is, this is what my USP is, which nobody else can do, or even if anybody else is doing, in at least for me and for my client, I'm the best at it, and that's why they want to work with me. So the first thing was of growth in me was when I started saying no to it. Of course, being dedicated, achieving what you promise, commitments, fulfilling them are a part of it. But yes, the most difficult thing is actually saying no, and actually knowing what your power is. And because as an entrepreneur, you start with a business, a business idea which is really fascinating you, which you see that there is potential, but essentially you also need to see a business side of it, that tomorrow when you are into it, what are your competitors like, what are the price points on which people are playing, so on and so forth. So for me, like being into entertainment business, and you've got me on an economic growth forum. For me, I was never an economic student, but yes, these are the factors that you need to factor in into your business, and you know get the ball rolling,
Yes.
because you
Yes.
really don't have any information about that.
Yes, Shan, I completely agree. Nilfa, you were saying when you had some connectivity issues. You can continue now.
Yeah, yeah. So I just was mentioning, I think Shan and I had the exact same story. Like I was working for so many people for free that people started just taking me for granted. Okay, this person does it for free. And there came a point when my mother told me, no, you can't do this because we understand you like doing this, but it's causing you mental strain, it's causing you physical strain, leave alone the financial part. I mean, it's causing money from your pocket, that is there, but then all the other strain that it is causing, it's not worth it. And only when I started saying no, people realized, okay, we've seen her work and I think she's worth paying for. And I am not saying I'm the best videographer in the city or I'm the best videographer that we know of. But I make sure when I work for someone, I provide them value, whether it is value for their time, whether it is value for their money. I create a relation that makes sure that next time they will come to me. And that is the one thing that ensures that if 10, like later in the next project, 10 projects later, I say, okay, now I can't work for this amount, I need this percent of increment in my account, I am sure that they will still allow, like they would still give that increment to me and they would still work with me because that's the kind of value I've given them.
Yes, Nilfa, I completely agree with both of you. Like, we have seen that leadership is a sense of power, and we all have heard that with power comes great responsibility. And saying no and facing the challenges is the kind of responsibility that every leader and entrepreneur has to take. So my next question would be that we have seen that pandemic has come across with this new era of technology in front of us. People are moving their businesses online. There are so many small businesses that have been transferred online, and everything is being handled via the technology. So I would like to know through both of you that technology was a boon or a bane for you guys. So Shan, we'll start with you.
So technology being more than being a boon or bane was the only source of actually communication for us more than anything. And for me especially, I realized the power of e-commerce and technology today. And exactly because our main business had always been on ground, with events and so on and so forth, where we realized that we are not going to see any opportunity to do anything for the next few months. And that's exactly where we started seeing, and suddenly these all these Instagram lives and Facebook lives, because these were the only platforms that that point of time started coming up, and it was an influx of knowledge coming our way. And that's exactly where I realized that getting onto a digital avenue of revenue is what we need. So that's exactly when we started producing content and music with the artists we've been managing, and started dwelling more collaborations on that front. Because for us, for the business we are in, that is the closest, and something that would interest me is where I thought that I could go. So technology has been something which is something that I will look forward to all my life. Because we all are independent of everything but dependent on our mobile phones essentially today. And with the pandemic kicking in, I think it is a better business opportunity, because for us, if we're doing a project on ground, we're making money um, till a certain period of time on it, and we're getting a set amount of money. But with content, for us, more than a business, it is an investment, like it is for stock market for others. So, and that's exactly what we're aiming at and looking forward to now.
Yes, I completely agree, Shan. Nilfa, would you like to add something to that?
So I think I don't know, like even for Shan, he's in a business in which it's very difficult to think of it online. Similarly for me, since I was doing photo shoots and video shoots, it was something you can't even possibly imagine of doing it online. I have to be on the set to shoot something. So initially it was like, okay, what do we do now? There's no video shoots that's gonna happen. There's no photo shoots that's gonna happen. But I think I got saved at this one point that when I was starting the business, I made sure I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I did not just keep it only to production when I was starting the business. I also created a dance and fitness sector of it, which really helped us get through the pandemic because we were able to do online classes, we were able to do workshops, we were able to do corporate workshops for so many people. So I think that is something that saved us. That is something because I never knew a situation like pandemic would come, but there was this instinct, there was this some sort of background learning that I have that I cannot just focus and be on one thing. So that really saved me from going all like, okay, what do we do now in the pandemic mode?
Yes, I completely agree with both of you that technology has been a blessing in disguise indeed in the era of pandemic. And we have mastered technologies in our own way to use it to whatever we want to invest in. So there's another thing that when we are starting something of our own, I think appreciation becomes one of the driving forces to make you keep going. So I'm sure that you guys would have achieved some milestones that you would like to share with the audience. Nilfa, we'll start with you. What are the achievements and the awards that you think you are the driving force, are the those vehicle of appreciation that keep you going?
So, okay, I won't go into like I won this award and that award right now, even though we have received quite a few recognition over these last few years. But I think for me, one moment that was like this, yes, I have achieved it was when I met this completely random person at a official business meeting that we had. This random person was sitting next to me. It was a business conference, and we were part of one of the panelists. And I hadn't even gotten into the panel till then, so no one knew who I was. This random lady sitting next to me asked me to click a picture of her and then asked me, "Oh, you look really pretty. What do you do?" So I said, I do. I have a. I am a student of architecture because back then I was still doing my college, but I have a dance and fitness studio, and we also do production. So she was like, "Oh, you do production? Whom you've worked for?" Then I named her clients, like we have worked for Taj, we have worked for Samsung, we have worked for this. And she was like, "Oh my God, you've worked for Taj." And by chance, a situation came that she also knew the GM of Taj, and even I knew the GM of Taj. So you were like, "Oh, I know the GM of Taj." I'm like, "Yes, even I have worked with him, and he's such a nice gentleman." And the last sentence she said was, "I can't believe a girl so young has achieved so much in her life already." And I think that was the moment for me. After that line, she also said that, "I really wish my daughter grows up to be like you." And I think that moment was something that made me realize, yes, I've done it now.
Yes, I completely agree, Nilfa, and I congratulate you on that. Shan, would you like to add something?
So for me, I have a carabiner with all. If you go to a concert, you get all these bands, right, which you wear on your wrist. So similarly, us who are working on those projects, we also have crew and access bands that we have. So I have a carabiner which is roughly over about 50 bands, and they used to be lying in my drawer. One day I just picked it up and I just put all of them in the carabiner and put them in on the handle of my Almira, and every day I look at it, and that's something I feel proud of, that I've done at least some good work in my life and something that I enjoy more than anything. And more than that, yeah, with all of that, last year had been very demotivating, at least initially, because when lockdown kicked in March, we had about 11 shows planned in the month of March, and all of them got cancelled, and we really didn't know what to do, where to go. And I think the motivating factor was that since we didn't have any work to do, the minute we used to get a call or a text or an email regarding any work, we used to get super enthusiastic to achieve it. And I achieved some of my benchmark projects last year in the during the pandemic, in the lockdown. We line produced a movie for Udly, which is called Comedy Couple with Saqib Salim and Shweta Basu, which is on Z5. We released till since lockdown last year. We've released five of our songs, and it's been an amazing journey. We released our last song yesterday, which was on the World Music Day, called Avari. You can see the link downstairs. And when people reciprocate to your work, and when we get messages and people sharing our music online, it is the best feeling. It is nothing more than an achievement in life.
Yes, Shan, I congratulate you on that. So, the one of the most important aspects of entrepreneurship and leadership and starting something of your own is economic aspect. So, being financially independent is one of the things that is in mind of every youth, I guess. When at least they touch the age of 19 and 20, they want to be financially independent as soon as possible. So, how has the journey of financially independent been for you? Shan, we'll start with you.
There are times when I still feel I'm not financially independent, because it's a very subjective and a relative term. Because there were times where we used to do very small projects and our investments used to be negligible. And then came a time when I started doing some of my marquee projects with some of my prime clients. I didn't have the money to put in, and I didn't know where to go, and I used to come back home to my family, speak to my dad about it, and he supported me. I used to take money from him, invest it in the project, gain my profits out of it, return his money, and then as I used to gain money, put it back into the business, then you realize you have a bigger project where you have higher investments. So I take money from him again, and he realized that my investment also started going smaller and smaller. But yes, it's in financial independence is something which is very important in life to have. If you can sustain yourself, and if you are in a business, you can sustain your business. Uh, it is the best. And if you are into business, you should be in a business which is self-sustaining and not, you know, full of liabilities, is what I'd say.
Yes, Shan, I completely agree. Nilfa, what would you like to say on that?
I think this is something I stepped into and I did not have an issue with, because but something that I've also realized and would like to share is, always if you even want to be an entrepreneur, start with something with very little overheads. I know it is very overwhelming when you think of the fact, okay, I want to start a business and you just want to go all overboard. Let's take an example, like someone wants to be a YouTuber. We have this mindset in our generation right now, especially the Gen Zs. They think, okay, if I want to be a YouTuber, I need to get a good camera, then I need to get lights, then I need to get a tripod stand, I need to get this, that, and all of that, and then I'll make good content and I'll be successful. But I think the idea is, start small. It's okay. You don't have to reach that level when you start. Start with something which has very little overheads. Keep that in your pocket, then go ahead. And I by chance, like how it worked for me, I started doing video editing, so zero overheads at all I needed was a laptop and a software that I already had. Once I saved money from that, I got my equipment to do shoots. Once I did a lot of shoots, I had saved enough money to start my own studio. Yes, starting my own studio did take a little investment from my parents as well. But then, even though I had a full fledged business, when I graduated college, I did not do my business full time because I had already seen the pandemic and I had seen where it could take us. I also started doing a full time job. So, right now, I'm doing a full time job. I have a business in which I need to take care of so many employees, I need to pay them on a regular basis. And I'm also having my YouTube channel. So, I'm managing all three of those, just because if one thing fails, I still have the other thing. And I know a lot of people do say, if you want to grow at something, like a lot of people told me that if you want to grow at your business, you need to give it your 100% attention, only then you'll reach here. But my point is, I don't want to reach here right now, but I want to make sure that I just don't go into a negative right now. I want to take a very slow path to it. So I'm okay if I'm able to give it a few hours a day. I'm okay with it, as long as it's a steady growth upwards and not a sudden fall downwards to take that risk going up. It's a very competitive term, although someone would say taking risk is better, someone would like the steady path. So it's on you what you are mentally okay with doing at your position right now, I think.
I do agree, Nilfa. We all have heard that slow and steady wins the race. So I guess that's the motive that we should take every time that we are doing something. So it has been an amazing discussion with you two, been very inspiring and motivating for all the audience and personally for me. So in the end, I would just like to have your concluding remarks as to what message would you like to give to the Gen Z or the youth that is currently thinking of maybe pursuing entrepreneurship or on a path of choosing what career they should go for and what the role of leadership can be in the society or in the youth as of now. So, Shan, we'll start with you.
I'd say follow your passion, and like what Nilfa said, start small. Um Very importantly, optimize your resources, money being the most important, and make sure you do what you really enjoy. Make sure you follow your passion and achieve your dreams. There's nothing better than that.
Thank you, Shan. I hope that anyone who would like wanted to hear it would have heard it now.
I'm
So,
sure. Also,
Nilfa.
go listen to our music. The link is right there downstairs.
Yes, sure. Everyone needs, we have the link down below. You can go and stream it on different platforms. The song name is Avari, and we'll really appreciate if you guys go and show some love to it. Nilfa, what message would you like to give to the audience?
I guess.
I think, yes, I think Nilfa is again having some network issues. Nilfa, can you hear me? Yes, Nilfa, I can see your video moving now. Nilfa, I would like to know what message would you like to give to the youth?
I think there's a problem in my internet because I can hear very broken voices. But I think the question was if I have any closing remarks. So I'll just, even though everything's stuck on my screen, I'll just uh,
I think network went off. So I would like to thank you, Shan, for being here today, for joining
Thank you
us
so much.
today. And I would really appreciate if you would promote us somewhere. And
For
also,
sure, man.
I have personally heard your song, and it was amazing. And I would suggest
Thank
that
you.
all the audience needs to listen to it too.
Thank you
Nelfa
so
is not here, but I would like to congratulate her also. I guess the
much.
discussion was crucial and important to talk about the risks and the challenges that the entrepreneurs face and the role that entrepreneurs and leadership faces today in the society. So I guess Nilfa has joined back. Nilfa, can you
Yes.
hear me now?
I can't believe my internet is so bad. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. So is there any concluding remark that you would like to add?
So this is slightly off topic, but one concluding remark I have for everyone who is planning to start their own something business or something of their own is do not leave your education in between. I know it sounds very fascinating that you dropped out of college to do something of your own, and this is a very controversial remark. I know I might get a lot of hatred for this, but I personally do believe that education, like completing your education, is very close to your retirement age or something like that. So even if you want to go into an entertainment business, or if you want to start something of your own, or you want to be a digital influencer, it's great. But make sure you do your education side by side. It's gonna be difficult, very difficult to manage both the things together. But I think it's very important in this generation as well.
Thank you, Nilfa. I was just congratulating Shan and you for the startups that you guys have begun, and they are going amazing. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors as well. Thank you for joining us with us today. It was a very crucial and a very fascinating discussion that we had today. And I wish the audience also enjoyed it as much as I did on my personal end. So, in the end, I would just like to say thank you everyone for joining in today, the audience as well as the panelists. And I hope everyone is safe at their homes as of now because the pandemic is still with us. So, thank you everyone for joining in. Stay safe, stay happy.
Thank you, guys. And just to add, you guys are doing an amazing job with all your initiatives, be it supporting people with the COVID emergencies or the helping people with bride trafficking. Big ups to you guys. Keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you, Shan.
Thank you.
And this was a great initiative. I loved being here talking about this whole leadership and also meeting Shan. I got to meet him through you guys. So I think this
Yes.
has been a great experience.
Nilfa, I guess we should connect. I thought that I'd say that offline, but yes, since you've brought that up, we should connect, man. If you are into production and all, we should.
Sure. Yes,
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 I guess
definitely.
communication is one thing that has bound us all in this COVID-19. So, I guess we should keep
Absolutely.
socializing with everyone. So,
Yes.
thank you
Absolutely.
everyone for joining in today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.